Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, talk heavyweights, little concussion. Now, when it comes to heavyweights, those are the kings of boxing. How the heavyweight goes, so goes boxing. It's one of the old sayings, so the heavyweights handle their business, mostly knockouts and things like that. Now, let's talk about the king of kings. Now, right now, our biggest, most high-profile fight of late was Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. And much props to Britain for putting, 96,000 people in Wembley Stadium for two black boxers, right, who had an equivalent of 5 losses between them. Fighting for a title, which was basically the IBF title, which was just vacant, right? You got to think about that a little bit. 96,000 people came to see Anthony Joshua with 3 losses versus Daniel Dubois with 2 losses for a title that ain't really a title because the baddest one is someone else. And both of these guys lost to him. It's a guy that's smaller than both of them, right? That's something that can only happen in England or countries that follow their fighters. We ain't putting no that many people in for no 2 black boxers. We got to have some kind of race issue or something so we can have, because only race sells in New Russia. So that's just one thing. So much props for them to do that. I went back and watched the fight a little bit, watched all the lead up and the walkout and everything. It's a big, awesome event they put on for those 2 fighters. And that's kudos to them, man, for getting behind your fighters like that. I mean, this is really awesome. Now, let's talk about the guy who they lost to, Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk is the king of boxing right now. If we're going to label people face of boxing and all that other stuff that we just be coming up with labels with, the king of boxing has to be Oleksandr Usyk, the king, right? Now, why would I say that? Well, because the baddest one in boxing, to me, is Terence Crawford, slightly ahead of Oleksandr Usyk. But Oleksandr Usyk would have to go with the king because, first of all, Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois are beat. Just make sure that's clear. Daniel Dubois has a whole lot of momentum going to him. And, when it comes to Daniel Dubois and Oleksandr Usyk, you got that little controversy. Whoa, but that was a legal punch. If it was legal and somebody would have called that a knockdown and get your ass up, Usyk, he would have, and he would have commenced to beating Dubois' ass like he did. Right? He milked the situation. Some say it was legal. Some say it wasn't. It obviously hurt. Put him down. Usyk doesn't like body blows. Well, which, I'm glad there's something. Because if that wasn't it, we wouldn't have nothing to say about this guy. Somebody got to have chinks in your armor. That's just proof that you're human. So he doesn't like it to the body. Thank God for that. But everything else, he handles his business. Now, but he got up, beat big old 245-pound Usyk. Daniel Dubois. 250, 255-pound Anthony Joshua on 2 different occasions. Not to mention the others he's beaten at heavyweight, which we're going to get to in a second. Bottom line is this. Oleksandr Usyk is the king because cruiserweight division, he won the Super 6 tournament, became undisputed at cruiserweight by beating everyone in their backyards. You guys that come here know I like to make sure that you understand. You don't go to Berlin and beat Marco Huck, who had the most title defenses in the cruiserweight history, or tied, or something like that. Legendary guy, Marco Huck. Went to Berlin, where he lives. Goes to Latvia. Gets a decision against Marius Briedis, who at the time was undefeated. Goes to Russia to beat Maury Gossev, who was the hardest puncher in cruiserweight at the time. And wins the tournament undisputed. Right? Undisputed. Cruiserweight champion. Then goes up to heavyweight and beats everybody else in their backyards. Including Anthony Joshua, Derek Chisora, right? And, by the way, after that tournament, he beat Tony Bellew, too, in his backyard. Before that tournament, he beat your boy here, the heavyweight that I like so much. His name hit me, He beat him, the one that everybody don't like to fight, just spar with, because sparring is in closed doors, but everybody don't fight him. Y'all lucky I forget his name right now. But he beat him too, and he beat Joe Joyce. The guy has done everything that needs to be done, right? And here's what the kicker. Weren't we saying that Tyson Fury was one of the best of all time? 6'9", 270 pounds of someone who can move, who can switch positions, right? Go from southpaw to orthodox. We don't even, cause the fact that he don't knock people out really, we don't care because he's the most awesome one. People saying he's better than Muhammad Ali. Well, he got his ass whooped by little old bitty old Oleksandr Usyk. Given a standing 8 count in the middle of a heavyweight fight. Standing 8 count because he was about to get knocked out, right? This is what Oleksandr Usyk is. Now, Oleksandr Usyk is the favorite to beat the best heavyweight we've seen for a long time in Tyson Fury. That's way bigger than him. So he's the favorite for him against him. He would be the favorite against Dubois. He'd be the favorite against everybody, right? Coming up from cruiserweight. I think that would say he's the king of boxing, right? Because all the other dudes, man, I ain't got to mention the face of boxing, those guys, because they got fights that they're taking that nobody wants to see. The two guys we call face of boxing, I'm going to leave their name out of it. But both of those have who they going to fight issues. People in their divisions that we think are better than them. People that haven't fought for years. For years. Not just what they won't fight recently. For at least going back 5-6 years. People that both of these face of boxing dudes ain't fought. So they're not in the consideration of king of boxing. King of boxing, who we know is awesome. The only one would come close would be Terrence Crawford. Should be the king of boxing. But I'm giving Usyk that title because he's a heavyweight. He's a heavyweight now. And that's what the king of boxings are. Because when you put everybody in the ring, the heavyweight's going to win. We knew Roy Jones Jr. was the baddest one we seen. But was Roy Jones Jr. going to ever beat Lennox Lewis? See what I'm saying? Lennox Lewis was the king of boxing. That title has to be Oleksandr Usyk right now. Give me your opinion. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm about to here. All hail the king.